sister and my brother-in-law, who was in the State Department, got stationed in England. So they left behind their farm with nothing to farm. So my mother said, let's grow hops. I said, all right, perfect, hops. Well, I like beer. That's about as far as I knew about hops. So yeah, we'll figure it out. And we did actually really well. We had a pretty unique market corner there. We grew the only USDA certified organic crop as the biggest crop in 3 states, and we were selling affordable stuff. But it's a farm. You're never going to really, get into the black that way, okay? You're not going to be like raking in millions. So you had all this extra stuff. What do you do with it? It's all about adapting. So, want to start a brewery? You bet. And that's really that's how I've been operating this whole time. Fast forward a few years, and we now have one of the biggest breweries in Northern Virginia. We're not distributing or anything. I mean an actual footprint. We're in an old Safeway. The building's huge. We can fit almost 200 people in it. All right, and we brew just dozens of different beers on it's not even on a cycle rotation. It's just like something else is popular, let's give it a shot. Something else is popular, let's give it a shot. Keeping our ears open and seeing what's good. All right, now currently I'm working as a financial advisor. I'm not even working at the brewery anymore. And that was part of my plan. I didn't want to brew beer my whole life. I wanted to stake in a successful company. I wanted to pick up the equity in the company. I built it, after all. I wanted to maintain some of it, and that's what I'm doing.
So you actually grow hops?
We do, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How many acres?
3.
3?
Well, it's a total of 5, but 3 actual arable acres for the hops themselves.
What's the turnover on that? How long does it take to grow?
I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5 months, depending on rain and how hot it gets. Sometimes you might need to speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Hops they're weeds. Yeah, I'm not going to church it up anymore.
You do it for a season, or do you do it all the way through the year?
Well, when you harvest them, you clip it down to the root, basically, and then you just let them sit there. They're not going to grow unless they got the proper temperature and the proper water. So winter doesn't actually affect the plants as long as they're deep enough in the soil. Mm-hmm. And they just, as soon as the sun comes out, then they just shoot right out. So got the irrigation plan down on a pump and a sensor and all that stuff. So every year around March, that's when the water starts kicking in and the plants start to shoot up. And once it gets to a certain height and a certain size, that's when we call it. And then chop them down, process them, pelletize them, dehydrate them, all that, and then they're ready for beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you hearing about hemp?
That actually I was part of a medical cannabis startup, the pharmaceutical company, and I was like, I'm not into weed, but I'll do it, Hemp, as far as a secondary source for paper, rope, clothing, all this other material, it's very viable, proven effective stuff. At this point, it's just a matter of legislation and whether or not the government's going to subsidize anything, because that's a lot of what the farming industry has come down to in America is how much they can subsidize, because everywhere on earth is cheaper to grow anything. Yeah. Now, luckily, we got wheat and corn kind of cornered here, but if you're growing, you name it, tobacco, hemp, whatever, Christmas trees, you're kind of screwed, and you need to get a subsidy for it to actually float. So hemp at this point is basically, as far as I know anyway, I'm not really that into it. Completely viable industry, just not really in the U.S. because of legislation. Yeah.
Okay.
And politically, it's a minefield.
Oh yeah, well
every
that's because
state
it would have to be federal, and the feds are not going to touch that. Right now, cannabis is a cash-only business, which you can take a guess at how that helps the criminals. Cash only, you can't travel over state lines. You say, oh, that's wonderful. So they're cashing in on that, hand over fist. Meanwhile, the government doesn't want to approve federal because that has its own implications, and some states don't want it at all. Others want it completely, free and clear. You go to Colorado, and it's like the Wild West again. Guys are growing pot in their apartment, and they're also getting stuck up at gunpoint right outside the apartment, and it's just it's brought in this much revenue. Yeah, but violent crime has also spiked too. So it's an ongoing process. Whether or not it'll be approved federally is anybody's guess at this point. If you go in there I have $1 million, these notes I took on a napkin say this, then you're going to get hammered. But the best way to mitigate that particular risk is just going to go back to the planning. Look at the pricing and take their time. A lot of people don't realize this. Taking somebody else's time is probably one of the surest ways to get them to do business with you. Bankers hate it when you take their time and not their money.
Absolutely.
Sit there and you go in there and have an hour-long meeting. Thanks. They're salesmen, you know, everybody's in sales. If you're in business, you're in sales. I don't care what you're doing, you're selling something, whether it's your time, your service, your knowledge, whatever. You're good, all right? You go in there and do that, then leave, schedule an appointment next week. Go in there and, hey, I've been doing something, you know, blah, 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 and you just do this. And you just itemize everything, go out to every single line item. Thanks, I'll be in touch. Thanks, I'll be in touch. That guy makes his money on commissions. He wants to lend you the money, he just has to be able to justify it. Now, as far as your point about, you know, they're gonna look at all your assets and liquidity, the banks want collateral. That's the way they can ensure that. Now, here's a little tip, pro tip, okay? Short-term life insurance policy is perfect collateral for a loan. Lending officers love seeing that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not telling you to go out and buy life insurance today. I'm telling you just to keep that in mind. If all bets are off, and you really believe in your company, okay, check out what strings you can pull to get that done. And that's another thing. If your company is 100% reliant on market condition, you might not have a viable model. Because right now, or last week, everyone was a genius. Like, oh my God, my holdings are up and everything's going great. This week, everything's going down, and now all of a sudden, people aren't a genius anymore. The good companies, the good businesses out there, small, big, doesn't matter. They're not worried about it because they have a market need that they satisfy. That's what you need to look at. Not the market condition, the market need. Okay, my brewery, I mean, this is why I didn't, like, as far as in that context of the brewery, I don't consider myself an entrepreneur. I'm not developing a new way to drink beer. Like, this is different beer. You can snort this beer. No, it's beer. I'm selling beer. Okay, lots of people do it. In the town, there's 5 other breweries. Jesus, that's a dense market. Would you agree? All right, but luckily, everyone's like, gonna drink always. You know, am I providing anything really extra of value? Well, yeah, more variety. That's about it. All right, but if you're starting like a t-shirt company or something, you know, what will keep people coming back during up market, down market? All right, computer programming, that's not going to go anywhere. You know, if people are going broke, they're not going to stop using Google. Okay, some things are always necessary. Yours might not be. If it isn't, how do you mitigate that risk? Down market. Goes back to planning. Think about all the contingencies. Sort them out. I didn't. Jesus, I wish I did. Life would have been a lot easier to have quite a few less black eyes. All right, but that's just it. Think about it. Take your time, all right? There's no rush. Like, if you don't start your business today, what's going to happen to you? Probably nothing, okay? Take your time with it. Plan it out, get comfortable, and then hit the gas. Because a real quick way to make sure you're going to fall flat on your face and maybe your business will fail completely, like 3 of mine did, is that you don't plan for that. You don't anticipate anything because you're too busy being excited and starting a new company. Woohoo, start a new business, let's rock and roll. Wait, what just happened? What do you mean I'm in arrears? What the hell does that mean? I owe people money, I didn't even make any money. And like, well, you existed, therefore you pay. I'm like, oh shit. Okay? Things like that happen. Do your homework again, you know, sit there, just spend your evenings. I'll sit there on my laptop while we're trying to watch The Office. Well, my wife's watching The Office. I'm sitting there like, yeah. Busy, because I'm sitting there just trying to sort this out. It doesn't sleep. You know, 9 to 5 might be while you're billing your hours, but your work doesn't stop. Ever. It's your company. It's your baby. It's got to keep growing. Got to keep moving. Focus, focus, focus. And honestly, one more lesson I'm going to toss out there. Like, I'm not going to say embrace the suck because it's really cliche, and that implies that you know the ending of the suck. Like, embrace the suck. It's only 14 weeks. It's only 6 months. This is forever if all things go well. Don't embrace it. Enjoy it. You know, it's not the suck. This is your career. I mean, would you call your kids the suck? I mean, they might. I mean, sometimes they can be. Like, no, I'm going to bed.
Depends on the kids.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's like my 7-year-old is indeed the suck sometimes. I'm like, just eat your vegetables. You know? But, you know, but it's something about developing. You want to get it going, all right? So don't embrace it. Enjoy the hustle. You know, don't look at a problem as, like, damn it, you know, there's another chore I got to do. There's another, you know, like, kick in the face. No. That's another problem you get to solve. I like solving problems. I think it's fun. You know, it's like, then again, I also do puzzles in my spare time. But the point is, find something to solve. Learn from it. I mean, each problem should not be recurring. If it's recurring, something's wrong. Find it, figure it out, solve it, pat yourself on the back. Next one, next one, next one. There you grow.